Hey yo, what's up guys, your boy Ed from Savij. You already know we got a ban list coming up and we got to talk about the ban list that is coming up. I'm going to talk to you guys about some of the cards that I think that are going to get hit, about some of the cards that I think that possibly could just straight up just go to 1, 2, whatever the situation is. A lot of tournaments are getting announced, so it's super exciting. It gives me hope to have a good ban list, maybe good decks that are coming out soon. So I got to stay tuned, I got to stay aware, I got to get ready and get a deck ready, because this next ban list can definitely shape the next couple of months of YuGiOh in a bigger form than we've actually been expecting. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Before we continue with this video, make sure you guys check out my new sponsor, Dank Playmats. They have amazingly beautiful, high quality 2-player cloth mats, which come in various colors. You guys can also get 10% off with coupon code Savij10. Make sure you guys check them out.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and start talking about cards itself. I'm not going to talk about like cards in order. Like I normally make a list, or I normally talk about like, oh, what cards are going to go to 3 or what cards are going to go to 2, 1. No, I'm just going to talk about a card and then we talk about what I think about that card, right? So now there's a small package, and we already know Needle Fiber, Aurora, and 001. These are the 3 cards that people I see that have been debating about so much. And they've been talking about whether or not the cards should get hit, which card should get hit, which card should get banned, whatever, right? Needle Fiber is a thing, but Needle Fiber is what brings out 001, right? To me personally, I saw a player yesterday who I effect veilered twice, so on one turn, and then the following turn, I knew effect veiler's not once per turn, I could have done them both, but he did Needle Fiber once each turn, right? He summoned out 2 Needle Fibers, so one on one turn, it got effect veilered, and then the next one on the next turn, that also got effect veilered. It's kind of crazy that people are starting to play multiple Needle Fibers just to get out that 001 to then make the Aurora combo, right? Aurora combo wouldn't be a thing if 001 wouldn't easily make that combo, right? So I do believe that, yes, Needle Fiber is making that combo possible, but I don't think that Needle Fiber is a threat in that extent. I feel like the problem is definitely 001. I feel like for you to be able to kill off that combo, you have to get rid of 001, because the thing is that it's kind of crazy, because Aurora does make the 3 tokens, then brings back the 001 and whatnot, right? Richly abuses that combo heavily in his Infernal combo, of course. And I just feel like that combo would die if 001 would be dead, right? There wouldn't be any worrying about, oh, you know, he Needle Fibered, is he gonna bring 001? Is he gonna bring this? Is he gonna bring that? Like, there's many of targets that a player can definitely bring out just to be able to make a certain card, right? I've seen, it's crazy because I've seen Rich go from Isolde and then bring out a tuner and then make 001, right? I mean, Needle Fiber to then get out 001 and then go with the combo. But I mean, like, there's a lot of things that just bring out tuners, and tuners itself aren't too bad. I think 001 it's what's really the threat here, because it's just making a crazy combo, and it's making it super hard for people to definitely be able to hit that card, because then that's just a first push. There's definitely a second push with Sword Souls. If I 001 and I make that combo, that's not my linear combo most of the time. I definitely have other cards in my hand, which is basically 3 other cards, right? Because it takes a 2-card combo to make 001, Needle Fiber to make 001. And it's crazy, because that means I still have 3 other cards, and I still haven't normal summoned yet, because summon out a Tenyi, and then summon out a Hara, and then link away, and then make for sure 001, right? It's crazy. We're going to continue. I think that 001 should definitely be the card to get banned out of these 3. We're going to continue. The question throughout many of metas has been Meltdown. Should Meltdown get hit? One of the last things that happened in the last meta was Meltdown, and Nadir Servant. And then Nadir Servant got hit, Meltdown didn't. A lot of people were like, oh, you know, Meltdown this and Meltdown that. It doesn't matter. I honestly think that Meltdown should actually get hit to 2. That's personally me. The reason being is because if you think about it, Meltdown just has such a strong protection against like many of boards, right? I had a Meltdown on the board. I activated Invocation. My opponent chains their quick play fusion card for Prank Kids. So cool. Summon on my monster. He tries to go chain link 1, 2, 3, 4. I was like, no. No. You can't activate any of those, right? Why not? Well, because it's all on the summon of my monster. Well, no, it's on the resolution of the summon. Tomato, it all stands for the same thing. There's my summon, you know? And it's just like, well, nope, sorry. That's such a strong protection for Meltdown. You see how crazy it is? I had a friend of mine who just commented on the Judges Lounge the other day. He goes, my opponent activates Invocation. I chain Herald, the one that tributes itself to negate. It's Omni negate. Cool. You can do that. You can chain. You can attempt to negate. It won't negate, right? Invocation resolves, right? Cool. Well, on Resolution, I want to activate Herald. You also can't. Why? Because Meltdown says you can't activate any card effects on the summon of a fusion monster. That's technically what it says, right? So, therefore, it's just such a powerful shutdown. And for us to know that fusions are probably going to be one of the best next best decks in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! How crazy is that? We're going to literally get into a format where it's going to be Fusion Albas everywhere. Everybody and their mama are going to play Fusion Albas. That's going to be crazy. We're going to go ahead and continue. Scythe versus Dagda. Should Dagda be the one to get hit or Scythe be the one to get hit? Look, if my opponent opens up Fusion Destiny, sets Scythe, and then Scythe locks me, it's not saying anything. That's skillful. It's really not skillful, but what I'm trying to say is that was lucky. That was definitely luck to be able to open up a hand like that. Sometimes you got to understand that it doesn't take skill to open up a certain hand. It's literally the way that you build your deck and what you open up, it's percentages and whatnot, right? For you to open up Fusion Destiny, which is 1 out of 2 cards in your deck, right? Because you play 2 of those. And then for you to open up your one Scythe, that's crazy, right? So you're opening up 1 out of you're opening up 2 out of 3 cards out of 40 plus, depending on how big your deck is. I'm not saying anything. Dagda is definitely the issue, because Dagda is what inherently makes you set the Scythe consistently. To be able to get that Scythe consistently on the board is crazy. It's hard. It's very difficult. So for that reason, I feel like Scythe should definitely get... I feel for that reason, Dagda should definitely get hit. Nobody's playing more than 1 Dagda. So for that reason, Dagda should definitely get banned. We're going to continue. The Water Girl or Right. Water Girl and Right are at 2, if I'm not mistaken, in the OCG, and should definitely go to 2 here each in the TCG. For multiple reasons. It helps the opponent, it helps the person building decks cut down on cards that are not necessary in such amounts. 3 and 3 of each is a little redundant. I feel like it's too much, and it will definitely cut the card count in the deck, which is going to be infinitely better to play 2 of each, because I'm a strong believer in 2 ofs than to open up like 3 of one and then the other one. Like if you open up 3 Rights and 1 Water Girl, you're opening up 4 of the same card. If you open up 3 Water Girls, 1 Right, it's literally 4 of the same card. Does not matter what. I believe that it would just definitely be better. Of course, the possibilities of you opening up 3 of one and 1 of the other is so much harder, right? Like the possibility, the percentage is so much lower, right? It's not a possibility sometimes. But what I'm trying to say is that it will definitely help for those reasons to not, for that percentage to not even be a possibility. So that means that I want to be able to like open up one in one, that's fine. But then even that's lowered because you're only playing 2 and 2 instead of 3 and 3, because this 1 and 1 is going to be so much easier to open than 2 and 1 or 2 and 2. You see what I'm saying? Like the percentages are just dropping, and it's easier. But that's just me. I really believe that 2 and 2 and 2-ofs are definitely a strong numbers in the deck. Continuing, I want to talk about Flunder for a little bit. I have a couple of different cards for Flunder that I want to talk about. Harpy's Feather Storm definitely being one of them, and D-Shifter being the other one. Those are two really good cards that definitely should get hit and should definitely be killed. Now, Robina and their Field Spell, should those cards be hit? I think that the Field Spell should definitely be a card that gets hit. I'm sorry, I'm not a big Flunder player. I'm not supportive of Flunders. I just think that these are cards that interact on your opponent's turn too much. And whenever you have stuff that interacts on your opponent's too much, you should definitely try to do something to kind of like hinder that, right? Harpy's Feather Storm is the card where if you control a winged beast monster, you activate, your opponent has no monster effects. What? See what I'm saying? Like, what? It's a walking VFD. The next one was Shifter, which is any card that is sent to the graveyard, it's banished. So there's cards you can't even activate. So if it activates and it sends a card to the graveyard, can't do it. It's crazy because there is no graveyard. And it's for 2 turns. It's your opponent's turn and your turn, or if you went first, your turn, then your opponent's turn. These are cards that should not happen and should not be alive in Yu-Gi-Oh! You want to encourage people to play competitively as much as possible, and you know, I just think that's not super competitive. You know, you discarded a card that says that all my cards go to the grave. That was so skillful of you. You know, like it's just whatever. Like, I'm not trying to talk down on nobody who plays that deck. I'm just saying that these are really bad cards and kind of unhealthy for the game, just like Scythe is, of course. I would like to continue. I think that Call By is definitely a card that should definitely come back now. Call By is a card that, of course, it's a quick play card, can be used on your turn, your opponent's turn, whatever the situation is, right? Target a monster in the graveyard, banish it, and if they banish it, negate its effects, right? And for that turn and the turn after, which is fine. Crossout has finally came out. I feel like Crossout was definitely a card that needed to come out in order for that card to go away first and now come back. Call By is a 2-of. Call By should definitely be back, and it's a card that we should definitely have the ability, and we should be playing that card at 2. I just imagine how much better playing against graveyard decks it will be to have Call By at 2 instead of 1. There's a lot of graveyard decks. Let's not, you know, just hop around the whole thing, right? There is a lot of graveyard decks, and I think that it's just gonna make the possibility of playing against these decks and just making it smoother match, right? Continuing, I would like to talk about Gamma, Ciphering Gamma. Ciphering Gamma going to 2 would be fine. It's not something that is blowing out. It's not something that is just like, you know, no. I just think that Gamma going to 2 is fine, you know? I'm actually, my buddy Rolo talked about it earlier. I had a lineup in my head of cards that I wanted to talk about, and I'm like, yeah, I want to talk about this, I want to talk about that. I literally asked him first without even saying anything, what cards do you guys think that should get hit or should happen to certain cards, right? And Rolo said Gamma, and I kind of agree, man. I think Gamma going to 2 would be fine, because then you actually play the package at 3 again, instead of playing 3 Gammas, 1 driver, which is 4. 4 takes up a lot more space than 3. I just think that it's all about how much space some cards take up in the deck. There's reasons to why I play certain cards at 2 and whatnot, right? I wouldn't play 1 Gamma, 1 driver to make it a 2 counter, because that's not a 2 counter anymore. It has to be a 2 counter for 2 Gammas, 1 driver, for you to be able to play 3 and it's still a lower count than anything else. These are just some of the cards that I think that should definitely get hit, or some of the stuff that should happen in the meta. There's definitely a lot more stuff that I think that should definitely happen for there to be shifts, or the meta should move or whatnot, right? But these are just some of the thoughts that I had in my head initially. I've thought about it since last night, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot more things that I could talk about, but I'm going to keep it nice and short. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know how you guys feel about some of these cards. I think some of these cards are definitely cards that need to go, or some of these cards just need to come down in lower ratios, so we can play a little more finer tuned Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Thank you all for watching. See you guys on the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.